Let's talk about 3D printing. What's up, investors, and welcome back to the channel. Today I want to talk about Nano Dimension, ticker NNDM. This is a stock that we previously covered on the channel before, and they have just had some major news in the last few weeks. This is an exciting stock operating on the cutting edge of the 3D additive printing space that has seen huge gains over the past 12 months and gained a lot of media attention thanks to the likes of Cathie Wood making major investments last year. So today we'll be looking at who exactly are Nano Dimension and what differentiates them from other 3D printing companies. We'll look at the management team because strong leadership is always vital to growing companies. We will look at the very latest news, including the release of the Dragonfly LDM 2.0. Let's see what analysts think of Nano Dimension and what Cathie Wood has been doing recently. Then we'll look at the technical charts and the most recent financial statements. Before we get into the video, it takes a lot of time to do this research and make these videos. So if you find any value in this video, can I ask you to smash that like button? It truly helps me out so much. I'm aiming to get 150 likes, help me make that happen. Subscribe to the channel if you're new and hit the bell notification so you don't miss out on any new content like this. And it shows me you want to see more content like this. What do you think of Nano Dimension? Have you invested and what price targets do you have? I want to point out this is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. Now let's get into it. So who are Nano Dimension and what differentiates them from their competitors? Nano Dimension is a provider of intelligent machines for the fabrication of additively manufactured electronics, or AME. AME technology is a unique technique to print HiPEDs, high performance electronic devices, layer by layer from scratch. HiPEDs are electronic boards with complex geometries that cannot be produced in the traditional PCB manufacturing process. The technology injects simultaneously dielectric polymer ink and conductive silver ink from a special printer called the Dragonfly LDM. AME technology presents significant advantages over traditional manufacturing processes. For example, in the printed antennas, it quickly adjusts to the required size of the pads and the distances between the layers, hence reducing production time. It enables the printing of several types of antennas as one unit in a single step, unlike the traditional way in which antennas are assembled from multiple parts prepared by various technologies. It enables wired components to be printed on the same batch, which accelerates the optimization process. This technology allows for multi-layer boards to be created by providing up to 52 layers with connections between layers. This is a vast improvement from traditional technology which provides single-sided and double-sided PCBs. This technology also allows for flexible circuitry. The global flexible circuit industry recorded revenue of $13 billion in 2019 and is expected to grow at a rate of 11% for the next few years. Demand for this will surely increase further with the need for smaller, lighter devices with greater functionality and wearable technologies. The main product is the Dragonfly LDM. The Dragonfly Lights Out digital manufacturing system is the industry's only comprehensive additive manufacturing platform for around-the-clock 3D printing of electronic circuitry. This precision additive manufacturing platform uniquely integrates an extremely precise inkjet deposition printer with dedicated nano inks and optimized 3D software to print electronic circuit boards such as PCBs, antennas, capacitors, sensors. This is state-of-the-art technology. With the Dragonfly, designers can move rapidly from concept and design validation to production of precision electronic components while keeping the entire process securely in-house. Companies can now reduce demand on prototyping and short-run manufacturing resources and lower the total cost of operation in comparisons to traditional manufacturing methods. The Dragonfly is designed for Industry 4.0 and manufacturing of Internet of Things. This is very much the technology of the future today. In my opinion, their technology is so advanced that the market they are aiming at hasn't even got to the stage of needing their technology yet. Nano Dimension bridges the gap between PCB and semiconductor integrated circuits, and will reduce the time frame for prototyping and production from weeks and months down to days and weeks. If you haven't already, take a look at the company's website. There's tons of information on there about their technology and the products. What sets Nano Dimension aside from the other operators in the 3D printing space is that they are specifically focusing on the niche of 3D printed electronics market. This is a market that is expected to be worth somewhere between $2.3 billion and $3.9 billion by 2026. One of the major concerns facing traditional PCB manufacturing at the moment is around 90% of all PCBs are manufactured in the APAC region. Intellectual property is cited as a major cause for concern, with a lot of companies being reluctant to send designs to Asia for prototyping. On top of this concern is the prototyping is often a very slow process, with companies waiting weeks to receive the PCB back. Altogether, the whole process is slow, costly, and puts intellectual property at risk. As we can see here, Nano Dimension have a number of major customers, such as 3 multi-billion-dollar US defense manufacturers, 2 European defense companies and multiple secret services, 1 multi-billion US value technology conglomerate, and several multi-leading research institutions around the world. They have also received a bunch of top quality certifications. They have customers across a broad range of industries such as research, aerospace, defense, medical, automotive, and industrial, and the technology provides different benefits to each industry. For example, in research, the Dragonfly system allows you to produce cutting-edge electronics quickly. In aerospace, the AME technology enables the production of reduced-weight components. And for the likes of the Department of Defense, it allows them to keep their intellectual property in-house and eliminate the need for involving external third parties. Now, let's get on to some very recent news. If you'd like me to talk more about Nano Dimension technology and the possibilities that this tech will have in the future, drop a comment down below and I'll cover it in the next video. The possibilities here seem limitless in my opinion. Also, if you haven't done so yet, show your support for the channel and hit that like and subscribe buttons. So, Nano Dimension announced big news in the past week, where they announced the launch of the next generation Dragonfly LDM 2.0 system. A comprehensive update to the company's flagship product that introduces improved print quality, optimized utilization, and smarter management for printer uptime. The Dragonfly LDM system is the only known technology in the world that uses digital files and simultaneous 3D printing of dielectric and conductive materials to rapidly produce high-performance multi-layered electronic devices known as HiPEDs. This great effort resulted in a product that will significantly take us a step closer to fulfilling our vision of additive manufacturing of HiPEDs in a cleaner, smarter and faster way. Now, what's very big here is approximately 68% of the company's customers worldwide already upgraded the early bird Dragonfly Pro machines to the previous release of the Dragonfly LDM systems. This free update to our existing Dragonfly system owners is expected to contribute to increased customer satisfaction while demonstrating to potential new customers our commitment to constant product improvements. First, the fact that 68% of the company's customers upgraded to the previous generation shows that there's definitely a market for this machine and that the product is in demand. The fact that they are willing to give free updates to existing system owners will also build very strong customer relationships and a strong brand image. All of this is very good for Nano Dimension. The Dragonfly LDM system is already being deployed in a wide range of industries, including academic, research institutions, defense, aerospace, aviation, automotive, robotics, and advanced medical applications. Finally, sales of the new Dragonfly LDM System 2.0 are expected to begin on June 1st, so we won't see any of these sales when we look at the financial statements. And in other news, just before the release of the Dragonfly LDM 2.0, Nano Dimension did announce the sale of the Dragonfly system to a leading university in Quebec. They state that they're excited to provide their students, researchers and faculty the opportunity to learn firsthand how Nano Dimension's technology is changing the way entire industries think, innovate, develop and manufacture HiPEDs. Their mission is to foster a paradigm shift towards revolutionary practices in the manufacturing sector. With New Horizons, the Dragonfly LDM system exemplifies such a breakthrough technology. We believe it is a precursor for what will be a soon-to-start inflationary approach in AME, an exponential expansion of AME networks realizing the Industry 4.0 vision through all PCB and HiPED users and fabricators in the electronics industry. Moving on now to the team at Nano before we look at the company's financials, which is well worth sticking around for. I think it's always important to have an idea of the team running a company that you're investing in. What experiences they have and the history they have of growing companies. The history of successful management is a powerful indicator of future successes. But also well-connected management can use those connections to help promote the company and secure contracts. Nano is led by CEO Yov Stern. He's a seasoned executive with a proven track record spanning decades in many different high-tech industries as well as homeland security. He spent most of his career in the USA running companies with global operations. He has built several successful companies from single-digit revenues as high as 330 million annual revenues through effective strategies and impressive organic growth. Overall, I'd say Yov Stern is a highly capable CEO with a proven history, and he's probably well connected considering the industries he's been involved in. Then we have President Zvi Nadivi. He has been the CEO of several technology companies in his own right, and has connections with the US and NATO military forces, as well as law enforcement agencies. And like Mr. Stern, he has a history of growing companies from small revenue to multi-million revenues using organic growth and then M&A strategy. He also has connections to the Israeli Air Force, where he was a fighter pilot and held the rank of major. To anybody who's interested in learning a bit more about the company's management and board, I suggest going to the website. There's plenty of information there on everybody in detail. One last mention though, for the company COO, Ziki Piled. This is a man who's extremely experienced across a whole range of multi-billion euro corporations, such as AT&T and Vodafone, as well as Elbit Systems, which is a multi-billion-dollar international defense company in the areas of avionics, ground and navy systems. Again, this would be a very well-connected person in the company. Also, in the past couple of weeks, Nano Dimension announced their Q1 financial results with the CEO letter to shareholders. So let's take a look at this letter and then the financial statements. Nano Dimension reported revenues of just $800,000 for the first quarter of 2021 and ended the quarter with cash and deposits balance of $1.47 billion, with a total net loss of $3.9 million. The business plan is proceeding on schedule, but uniquely to Nano Dimension, and is viewed here from 3 points of view. The first axis, the sale efforts of our existing Dragonfly machines, which are slowly recovering from a long corona-related hibernation. We mentioned this in the previous video. And the effects of the pandemic are still affecting the ability to sell new machines. On the second axis, our investment and expansion of our new product development efforts, which are the main reason for the larger expense line, show a positive trend as we deploy capital as planned and promised. We accelerate R&D of material and printing technologies to advance the AME product line through the milestone of fitting market specifications. And this is reflected in the P&L under research and development expense, which have more than doubled in comparison to Q1 2020. And finally, the third axis is the M&A efforts. The two recent acquisitions, which have been in progress for approximately 6 months, and the additional prospects we are working on for the second half of 2021, do not yet reflect positively on our financial statements. This is the acquisitions of two companies that we spoke about in the previous video, DeepCube and Nanofabrica. In the interest of keeping this video from being too long, I won't speak about them again here. But if you want to learn more about these acquisitions, check out my previous video, and I'll also put links in the description to these PR statements here. There's also a section here with first quarter financial highlights. But I've mentioned most of these a moment ago, so I'm going to skip straight into the actual financial statements. So looking here at the statement of financial position, we can see that Nano Dimension have approximately 1.5 billion in assets, of which the majority is made up of cash and bank deposits, as we mentioned before. This is a huge increase on the same period last year, which had total assets less than 23 million, and is also a huge increase on the December 2020 year end, which had total assets of 689 million. Then when we look at the liabilities, we can see that they have total liabilities of 20.7 million, and this is a slight decrease on the December figure of 22 million. Overall, this gives Nano Dimension an asset to liability ratio of over 70-1, which is incredible, and the majority of this being made up of cash means that not only do they have enough to fund their operations for the foreseeable future, but they also have enough cash to pursue their M&A strategy and progress the company forward. You won't find many companies with these levels of cash to fund operations sitting at this price. Currently, the market cap of Nano Dimension is only about $2 billion. Then looking at the statement of profit and loss, we can see that low sales figure of only 800,000, but importantly, they do achieve a gross profit from their sales. Then looking at their expenses, as we've spoken about, they have a very high research and development, sales and marketing, and general administrative expenses. Now, I don't want to dwell on these figures too much because they're largely irrelevant, but this extremely high figure for admin expenses for the previous period might have caught your eye. This is something that I looked into in a bit of detail in my previous video, so I'm not going to go over this again here. As I've mentioned before, one of the major investors in Nano Dimension is Cathie Wood. And one opinion that in the past year has got far more credibility than the majority of analysts is the opinion of Cathie Wood. Ark Invest have been a major investor in disruptive technologies over the past few years. Cathie has been very bullish on Nano Dimension for a long time. And Ark Invest are a major shareholder in Nano Dimension. In fact, Ark Invest are the largest single institutional owner of Nano, currently owning 5.06% of the company. That is up from the 3.37 that was owned at the time of my last video just a few weeks ago. Now, Ark were very early investors in this company, originally buying in well before the share price rocketed up, but that has not stopped them from adding to their position over the past few months and even the past few weeks. Cathie is very bullish on this stock, and I'll put a link in the description to an interview she gave some time ago about the amount of potential that's here. As we can see, other major investors in Nano Dimension include Renaissance Technologies, State Street Global Advisors, and Citadel. So when we look at the technical charts, we can see that huge rise that Nano Dimension has had over the past 6 months. From as low as less than $2 back in September, October time, up to the heights of over $18 in February, before that market crash happened and the share price began to move downwards. So when we look here at the past 3 months, we can see this downward movement that Nano Dimension have been moving in. And we can see that it hit a low point of nearly $5 about a month ago, and has been on the steady rise since then. Now, we've seen this with a lot of companies in the past couple of weeks, so there seems to be a real shift in the market at the moment. And when we look a bit closer, just over the past month, we can see that steady rise here in this upward channel. Now, this has offered plenty of opportunity with its volatility to make gains, often as much as between 10 and 20%. And I see no reason for this not to continue. So guys, that brings us to the end of the video. Before I give you my final thoughts, if you've watched all the way through, please hit that like button. It takes more time than you could imagine to research these companies and make these videos. If you're new to the channel, remember to hit that subscribe button and bell notification. I'll be running a competition later this month for subscribers. Like and subscribe to take part. More details coming soon. And leave a comment down below to say that you've liked and subscribed so that I know. So what do I think? The more I research Nano Dimension, the more I like this company. As I said in my previous video, when I first started researching this, I thought that Nano Dimension were just another 3D printing company in the additive manufacturing space, making solid metal parts, but their technology is surprisingly advanced. This is an industry that by its nature is already very advanced, and Nano Dimension are at the real cutting edge of this technologically. I still think this is a fantastic time to be buying into this stock at the current price of around $7.70, which is extremely good value in my opinion, and I think that the future is very bright for Nano Dimension. Also, the fact that major investors like Ark Invest are actively buying into this stock further shows me the level of potential that's here and just how good of an entry point this really is. The long-term potential is huge. They've raised a lot of capital over the past few months, and their cash balance of approximately 1.5 billion should mean that there is no reason for any more share dilution. As always guys, this is just my opinion. If anyone is thinking about buying into the stock, I encourage you to do your own research. And if you find anything of interest that I've not mentioned in my videos, leave a comment down below and I'll look into it. As I said before, I'm not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. Thanks for watching the video. What are your thoughts on the future of Nano Dimension and what are your price targets? Drop your price target into the comments. I try to respond to all the comments on my videos, and I'll catch you in the next one.